So welcome to the Exchange 2021 Virtual Roadshow, and to this session, no more Manic Mondays, avoiding surprise outages and proactively shaping CX. My name is David Lane, I'm a Customer Success Manager at Ciara, and it's my pleasure to introduce Maddi Krishnan, Head of Resource Planning at Vitality. Maddi, welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me and making me a part of this roadshow.
Not at all. Maddi, first off, would you mind giving us a quick overview of Vitality and your role there?
Yeah, absolutely. Vitality is a first insurance company to reward people for healthy living. Our core purpose is to make people healthier and to enhance and protect their lives. We believe in the idea of shared value. It's a unique approach to insurance based on scientifically proven principles of behavioral economics. We help our members to take more active role within managing their wellness, which can encourage the development of healthy long-term habits, and that's good for them, good for us, and good for the society. I joined Vitality to head up the resource planning team. It's resource planning and telephony team in June 2019, and we are an enabling function to our group operations. And again, my team provides support across the end-to-end process of telephony, forecasting, and demand planning, scheduling, managing tactical changes to protect service levels through real time, and by providing insights. That's pretty much a quick summary of my role within Vitality.
Thanks for that, Maddi. Appreciate it. Your customers or your members are so important to you. So tell us a bit more about your contact center environment.
From our contact center perspective, Vitality UK comprises of 4 different product arms: health insurance, life insurance, Vitality Invest, and the recently launched Vitality Car. Vitality is home to a diverse and vibrant employee population, and we have more than 2,000 employees split across 5 different locations, 4 of them being in the UK, which is Croydon, London, Stockport, and Bournemouth, and 1 center in South Africa in Johannesburg. We currently supporting our members through 3 different channels, which is telephony, emails, and social. And again, that's supporting them across the entire end-to-end customer journeys. It starts off from acquisition and renewals, onboarding and engagement, customer servicing, claims, and last but not the least is a Vitality program.
And Maddi, you're a fairly new customer to Ciara. You're 6 months into your Ciara customer journey. What's your experience been like so far?
It's all good news, I would call it, as again, the overall onboarding process was very smooth. As soon as the purchase orders were signed, we were assigned a dedicated project manager who worked on a detailed onboarding plan. The weekly governance mechanisms ensure that there is no delays in the go live. Again, our timelines were relatively less, I would say. So again, some of the positives that I liked was the training module, where it was interactive, though in the new COVID world, everything was remote, but it was very interactive. Trainings were more hands-on rather than the traditional theory sessions that would have been happening. And the trainer, Randall, was amazing with regards to hand-holding us, getting us into a suitable place where we could be running scenarios by ourselves. So most of the training was kind of onto a demo environment or a training environment, and then we went into a live environment where he replicated some of our real-life scenarios. So all in all, we now have completed the entire training phase, and now we are into the continuous improvement stage where we're looking at best practices, which will help us implement changes to enhance our customer experience.
That's what we always love to hear, Maddi. So a great initial experience. So if you go back prior to working with Ciara, could you talk a bit more about your key challenges you're facing? And importantly, obviously, how has the platform helped address them?
We were experiencing stability challenges with our current ACD. And again, we used to experience downtime every time we would upgrade a feature or a module on our ACD. And again, when I mean every time, it's kind of, it's that frequency was quite high, and it just became, we were just anticipating something or the other to be broken. As and when we are scheduling in an upgrade. We most of our tests were manual, and we were not able to make complete any automated testing using our existing ACD platform. And there's only limited things that you can do when you are testing it manually. With Sierra Cruncher, we were able to perform a load test to assess the stability of our ACD platforms after upgrades. This has helped us identify defects early in the upgrade cycle and prevent any downtime during the production hours.
And to tell us about how you're getting some visibility into those defects that you didn't have before, and particularly in reference to your third-party platform providers.
The positive I would say is the results published after the tests are quite detailed, which helps us take actions appropriately. It helps us identify where the issue lies. That is, whether it is sitting in at Vitality's end, whether it is the Sierra configuration, or with our ACD team as such. And this helps us in engaging the right team for troubleshooting. Again, go, no go calls are basically taken based on satisfactory results of load tests and it basically helps us prevent any downtime as such or any routing issues or upgrades.
Yes, we go back to the title of this and going back to when we first partnered with you, you and your team sort of described in detail some of the, I guess I'd call it the anxiety around Monday mornings post your release and perhaps walking on eggshells, hoping nothing's broken. How are those Mondays post-release right now?
Completely different, I would say. Again, load tests are a part of standard BAU testing as a part of any changes to ACD, whether it is to do with anything which is associated to us or any of the changes which is happening onto the backend operating systems at our ACD end. This has ensured that any of the defects are identified and fixed before the start of production. Since partnering with you guys in October, we have been able to identify defects or bugs during the initial testing, which has prevented downtime in our operations. And again, we usually have our upgrades over the weekends. And just as I had shared it with you, every Mondays, I would just keep my calendar free for the first half of the day in order to deal with any of the issues associated to any of the upgrade change and to chase any of our ACD leadership team or account management team in order to get the right focus. With this ability of completing a thorough testing and an actionable insight, which is available after the test, I think we can, for me specifically, I can focus on my BAU activities on a Monday morning instead of troubleshooting or maybe reaching out to the account managers or the account directors to get somebody to get working to fix some of the burning issues.
It's good to hear. So hopefully some slightly more relaxing Sunday nights and some less tense Monday mornings as well.
Sunday nights will always continue after a good weekend, but Monday mornings are absolutely much better.
So could you tell us about some perhaps specifics around the actual results that you've started to see?
Well, the number one thing that is that we haven't seen any P1 issues resulting from an upgrade or change since we have onboarded Sierra as a platform. And again, the Cruncher component specifically is kind of it's used to robustly test our platforms closer to the production load as such. And again, that basically helps us in understanding or creating a real life scenario whilst in a testing environment itself. The velocity component has also helped us with the regression testing as a part of our recent release with the Vitality car to ensure that the confidence and deployment in the new IVRs and journeys, etc., is there. So all in all, when you start looking at it, can I create a real life scenario in a test environment? Yes, using the load, using the cruncher. With the velocity, whilst we are, because as mentioned, wherein Vitality Card is just a recently launched product, we've been able to check the entire journey using the velocity component. And again, these are some of the things which we are starting to use and adopt into our day-to-day lives.
That's great. So it's starting to become part of your IVR testing process. So what's then been the impact on the actual customer experience from automating that CX testing process?
Well, we've historically seen instances where members would have been unable to reach us, calls incorrectly routed to different departments, or certain features not working as desired on the ACD platform. Uh, with with robust testing in place, we have been able to strengthen our overall test plans, and with the addition of load tests to identify defects, and we've been able to avoid any of these associated downtimes the following day. So number one priority, as I said previously, no more P1s. But at the same time, when you start looking at it, we are making ourselves available for our members when they need to contact us.
That's great. It's great to hear and see the results you and your team are starting to achieve with Ciara. I guess if you look back then, so are there any key lessons that you've learnt along the way?
Uh, the one that I can speak about again, it's far easier to build Sierra in Sierra as a part of your CX models or test cases as such, as you are building the actual IVR journey as such. So we found it the other way around, wherein when we try to put it into our existing space to check something, it turns out that it is too much of a work. Whereas when we rolled it out for a Vitality car, when we were setting up the IVR, when we put across when we were building it up, it was much easier for us to be using and understanding those results. So again, if I need to summarize, it's far easier to build Sierra in CX models or test cases as you're building the actual IVR journey versus building the IVR journey first and then recreating it in Sierra.
So starting to move further to the left in that development cycle, is that fair?
Exactly. Get engaged or start using some of these insights well at the beginning of the cycle rather than starting to use it towards end of it, which basically stops you from going back or tracking back your steps.
Absolutely. So, if you were speaking to someone new, what would be your recommendations for anyone who's getting started with automated CX assurance?
Have a clear picture and plan of what you want to achieve from the platform and tailor it in your initial handover period with Sierra to make sure that you achieve your overall value of the product. Avoid functional creep by keeping things simple to begin with. Again, Sierra trainers are very knowledgeable, and if these challenges are called out well in advance, the solution or the training would be customized, which will help you achieve and maximize the ROI quickly.
That's great advice, Maddi. So you see it as very much a kind of walk, jog, run perspective.
Don't build your that's basically wherein don't build your just to make sure that you are implementing it. Don't provide with the simple examples. Give a real life example where you would be able to create that maximum impact onto your overall operations or on your business. And again, that's pretty much where the training would be customized to you, and then you get through that initial period much more quickly.
So we're almost 6 months into 2021. You're just over 6 months into your Ciara journey. What does the rest of 2021 look like for you and perhaps beyond?
Well, as mentioned earlier, wherein we are fairly new to Sierra and very much in its infancy towards implementing various features. The way I look at it, as step one, I call it as basics. We have been able to implement the modules which helped us address some of the key problems. Next step, I'm calling it as enhancement, is to work with the customer success team, as yourself, David, at Sierra, to explore and implement various other modules which are available within the Cruncher and Velocity module, which will help us enhance our customer journey. We're looking at implementing Pulse starting from July, which will again help us test availability of our lines. And the final stage, I call it as transformation, would be to attend some of the best practice forums where we would be able to learn how we can customize this particular tool to transform the entire customer journey or customer experience. And some of it, forums like this, will help us understand the extent to which we can customize and utilize the tool, which again helps us in continuously improving the usage of tool and transform customer experience.
Maddi, we very much looking forward to partnering with you on that journey. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure and sharing your experience on how automated testing is helping Vitality. Thank you to the attendees joining us today. We hope you enjoy the rest of the Exchange Virtual Roadshow. Thank you, Maddi.